Have I mentioned the pills yet? Feels like I've been taking more and more, getting worse and worse. Sleep. No sleep. I haven't slept in days. And these sudden panic attacks. It feels like my heart is going to pop out of my mouth into the floor while the dust and bad things are down there. And I've started hearing voices, little voices, telling me to do the most outrageous of things. The walls in this place, they're badly behaved. They keep turning into monsters. Or should do that, should they? It's naughty. Already. Crap. Time seems to have just flown by. Will you excuse me just a moment, Matthew? Hello? Tina? Oh, sorry. Hello? Tina. This is the doctor speaking. Can you please cancel my next 2 patients? I'm really at a point here with Mr. Dan. Yep, thanks. So that's me. How have you been, Matthew? Long time no see. Oh yeah. Okay. May I just say, Matthew, you've been making excellent advances in yourself recently, and I think it may be time to finally close your file. It takes time and effort, and you're the living example of what a world-class psychologist, such as myself, can achieve with such an obsessive patient. But before I close your file, I need to ask you a favor. One last favor. I need you to kidnap my wife. Oh, no. It won't take long. A few hours at most. No? Trust me, Matthew, I wouldn't normally ask this of you. It's because my magnificent head is stuffed up, big style. And all this anguish, because of goddamn dice. Tell me, Matthew, do you enjoy sex? I enjoy sex. God, I enjoy sex. So when my rather conservative wife suddenly wanted sex at all times of the day, in all sorts of exotic locations, I was the last to complain. Barely able to stand because of fatigue, but I wasn't complaining. When she made me sleep in the spare bed a week later, I put it down to the enigma of womanhood. And when she blew our joint savings account on a pink Harley Davidson, I believed I stayed fairly stoical. But it came down to a head when I came home one night after work and found out that she had slept with 2 homeless men from the local park. She explained to me that she was undergoing something called dice therapy, and that all of her behavior was patternless. Mental! I was shocked. But it was I who had delivered her to the dice man himself. A former colleague of mine and a one-time expert in the treatment of eating disorders. I'd sent it to him to cure a mild but worsening case of bulimia. How could I have known that he was going to throw away each tenet of his training to cook up this dice therapy? Oh, God plays this game. You meet your fair share of loonies and psychos. But even for a psychologist, that guy's a nutcase. Some of my colleagues were suggesting that we take him out to a lonely field, put a bag over his head, wham! But I don't want to do that, Matthew. I don't want to kill him. My wife's decisions whilst playing the dice has resulted in many lawsuits, financial losses. When we finally had to sell the house, I gave her an ultimatum. I said, quit playing the dice, or you wouldn't be able to stay with me in my bedseat that I was staying at the time. After rolling a 7, she packed her bags and moved to this newly opened Centre for Randomized Living, a dilapidated Gothic mansion in the middle of a lake that many tabloids were calling the Dice House. You gotta understand how serious this matter is, Matthew. The police are helpless to stop her, because she's there to own will. Desperate measures are called for. Matthew. Come on, Matthew. If you do this for me, you'll be my #1 abductor. And I'm even willing to throw in a pencil. Matthew. Matthew. I'm a psychologist. We both know that, because it says it on my effing wall. But I only have your best interest at heart. And what I believe your best interest is to kidnap my sweet little pea. Because if you don't, I'll have you sectioned. Curse my black heart to hell, I'll have you sectioned. I'll fill in a few forms and they'll lock you up in a dark tower on the top of a spooky hill, full of retards who jabber about, chuck poo at each other. I'll make sure you fall down one of the many shallow cracks in our society and make sure you're unhurt again like the mice and unblinking skidolls that run that facility. Matthew, I need to offer you an apology. I don't think I'd be able to look at myself the same way again after this. But the fact of the matter is, a psychologist has the ability to abuse his power. And I find that idea just too tempting. My behavior is far too silly for anybody to believe. I'm a psychologist, and you're mentally ill, and a danger to children. It is not for you to decide who you're a danger to. That's for me to decide. That's what makes this world of ours so unfair. I've got you by the balls, Papa Boy. My God, is it disgusting. Now take my pencil and go kidnap my sweet